Hi, Steve.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, I've got some new music I want you to check out when you get a chance, please.
Awesome. Are you going to send me a playlist?
Oh, no, man. I made you a mixtape.
Are you like 73? And hello and welcome to Two Guys Talking About Records, Spotify's most popular broadcast or YouTube or whatever. We're just that big. I am Steve, a record collector, and I do not have any mixtapes.
And my name's Jim, and I own a record store, and apparently I still do have mixtapes floating in my basement somewhere. But just to quantify Steve's earlier statement, we are Spotify's most popular podcast where there are two old guys talking about records.
And not lettuce.
And not lettuce. No. Well, although we'll be talking about lettuce today, so now I'm really confused.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show, everyone. We, as always, are having fun here today. And on today's episode, we're going to touch upon the time-honored tradition of making mixtapes for the folks in your life, just to expose them to new music, but with a modern twist, because mixtapes are so out, man. Spotify, YouTube, it's the algorithm. That's what's in, man.
It is. It's all about algorithms and how they screw things up.
Yep. Well, they're supposed to make our lives easier, like everything that the computers do, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But
And
not.
your computers are always listening. Your phone is
Yes.
always listening.
Yes. So watch what you say today.
Yeah.
So all that and more coming up today. We do have a quick news item to talk about, which is kind of fun, and our most recent pickups. But why don't we start off with that quick news item, Steve? This is an interesting one. Wow, what was it? Probably 2 weeks ago, we talked about Dylan and
hmm
just kind of dissecting some of his music, and both of us saying, we're not the biggest Dylan fans, but I'm coming around on some albums, and you were really in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly. There's some stuff. Yeah.
Lo and behold, the algorithm was listening to that conversation, and starting to pop up on my social media feeds was the fact that Bob Dylan is now coming in concert to Mid-Michigan, and actually on West Side. He's going to be in Saginaw as well, but he's got his Rough and Rowdy Ways worldwide tour making a stop in Saginaw, Michigan, which is half an hour from here, 20 minutes, at the Dow Event Center coming up in April of next year. So
Yeah, well, and I guess there was something in a press release about he's coming to this area because he had watched two guys talking about records, kind of going about Dylan. So he goes, you know what? I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to show them personally that I can still do it.
So you want to go?
I'll get back to you.
Okay. I've been asked that question a lot also, because on one hand, I've never seen Dylan. Oh man, it would be great to see Bob Dylan. But the thing is, as we've talked about, not necessarily in the couple weeks previous, but before that with his touring with Willie Nelson and stuff, you're not going to really get to see Dylan per
That's right.
se.
Yeah, Lord knows, don't pull out your phone.
No, they've got warnings all over that, but I'm gonna pass. I'll wait to see some videos, but I'm good with that because I don't want to pay that money. And I did call this up, by the way, Steve. Let me let me call up the tickets here. I looked up the Dow Event Center tickets for us. If
Mhm.
you're just curious, there's a few still available. The orchestra pit tickets, right? And the Dow Event Center is a nice place. This looks like this is in the theater, not the hockey rink side of things. So it's
Yeah.
it's a nice venue. I think you've been to that, haven't you? A
Yeah.
few times, and I've been there. I've actually introduced when I did my television and radio stuff. I introduced a couple of acts there, including Red Green. So I know that there's all these catacombs and things off a side stage to go to in there that are kind of neat. Actually, Celtic Women as well. I was there for Celtic Woman. We got to work with those guys. Orchestra pit tickets, by the way, for Bob Dylan start at $317 to see
Mm.
him in Saginaw. And then we've got next level 224, 197, 186. By the time you get to the balcony, you're talking 186 to 150. The top balcony, 186 center, 150 sides. I don't know. I don't know. It's Dylan.
You know, yeah, it's the way concerts are now. If you want to go, you just better be prepared to invest
Yep.
in going. I mean, they're all I it yeah, maybe that's just normal price.
Yeah.
I guess we look back to I paid $25 to go see that group, and I thought that was a lot. Oh wow! And now we look at this and go, who can afford that?
I know. Well, it's the
They
cost of
sell
living
out.
that kicks up too. But
Yeah.
you add into everything else that we talked about. Dylan's a fantastic artist, no doubt about that, you Dylan lovers. But I just don't know about seeing him, knowing that he's hiding behind everything. He's kind of mumbling through his songs, which is different than when he was mumbling through his songs at 25 and 30 years old. But I don't think I could justify it. I wish him well, though, visiting mid Michigan.
Yes. Yes.
And
And calling us out.
yeah, yes, please do. He's more than welcome to stop by the store and give it to me here. Let me know what he thinks. I'll put that out. I'll put the feelers out to the folks I know at Dow Event Center and say, if Dylan wants to hit a record store,
Yep.
because I know
We're
that's
the
high on
spot.
his list, right?
Uh-huh.
So before we get to the algorithm, because it knows what we're doing at all times, Steve, how about we do our recent pickups, which I think it probably also knows about us as well.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I thought, you know what, Jim? Let's not even do it and let the algorithm set up the playlist for us, and we should be.
That works. Well,
Yeah.
there is a playlist involved. There's no escaping this, is there?
Yeah. No. No.
But we do this. We do this each and every week, where we cover our most recent pickups and additions to the collection. And this week, I know for a fact that both of us have got a major pickup to kick in. But you want to wait and save that for when I kick into mine?
Yeah. We're going to
All
save
right.
it for you. Exactly. Because I got enough other stuff to try to make your life a little bit of hell on your playlist.
I'll let the algorithm handle it then.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
you got this week?
Well, we're going to let me make sure I pronounce this group right. Okay, because Trico, and the name of the album is The.
The?
Yep, The. The. And you can fill in whatever else you want with it. But it is a group called Trico out of Japan. What do I know about Trico? Absolutely zero. I just saw it in a bed and go, well, okay, I'll just buy that.
Art of the Blind Buy.
Fly of the Blind Buy, baby. And it is, they formed in 2010 in Kyoto, Japan. Math rock, I guess, it best explains them to some extent. The vocals are actually quite good, oftentimes in Japanese, but that doesn't matter to me. So, I if you are fans of the Battles, Speedy Ortiz, Death Grips, Hella, and Don Caballero, you're going to like it.
Okay.
I-
Are you
I'm-
are you certain it's not pronounced the?
yes, I am certain it's not pronounced.
Now-
And you know what? I can't even tell you if I'm saying that one right.
Here's the thing. I can tell you what the nightmare is going to be, because if I type in the, it's going to start autofilling everything but them. So,
Yeah.
not to be confused with the 80s alternative band College Radio, or
Yeah.
or the.
And you know, it is say it's pronounced trico because it's a French word, but it looks like tricot to me. So, damn French.
All right. Well, that'll be a fun one to look up.
Yep. Here's something I bought from Radio Wasteland.
I know that place.
Jim showed this. Here's the lettuce we talked about we would be showing. Two guys talking about lettuce. And we have it here. Why would you call a band lettuce? I guess I gotta dig into that one because I want to know. This is outstandingly good. This is funk. It's funk and jazz. You get a lot of jazz feel to it also. And I know Jim and I were discussing this. They got a new one coming out that we both go, maybe we should have more lettuce in our life.
We should. I've been supposed to be eating more greens. Oh, I'm listening
Yeah,
to you. Never
same
mind.
here.
That's the only lettuce in your diet, I think, Steve.
I think so. It is about right. There's something about, oh, it's lettuce, huh? Ugh.
Yeah, well,
And
there.
when I have when I have a salad, I order it for light on the lettuce, heavy on everything else.
The new one that's supposed to come out is called Cook, and it was due last week. And I think the black vinyl version was out there, and we both ordered the colored vinyl version
Yeah.
that goes to indie stores. I guess they had a different variant for their own website exclusive. It's a no show on the colored vinyl. I don't know when we're going to get it, but I
Okay.
listened to that. I listened to that online, and it's pretty darn good too.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. I mean, it's a great group, folks. If you like funk, it's mostly instrumental. There was a little bit of vocal in there,
Yep.
but mostly all instrumental, but definitely a lot of funk and jazz in there. Some jazz feel to it, but
And modern.
funky jazz. Yes. Yes. So yeah, it's well worth looking into. This is another one Jim had in his shop that he showed that I picked. You know, I thought, you know what? Who's going to buy that? But well, that's probably just me. So it shows sure as heck Brant Bjork and Jalamanta. What did I know of Brant Bjork? Absolutely nothing. The same with Lettuce, but a newer artist. This is psych. This is really some very cool psych music going on here. A little bit desert rock, kind of stoner type feel to it, but really enjoyed this album. I thought it was great, and I know you have another one that I'm inquiring about.
Yep.
But,
Yep. We'll have to get that to you.
yeah, pretty cool cover too. So, that's what caught my attention on it. Jim pops it up. I look at the cover. And go, look at that. So once again, visual artistry sucks us in.
Yep.
And then we have Isabel Campbell. You know, she was from Belle and Sebastian. She put out this solo album maybe a couple years ago, I believe. And look at that. That's as bright as the sun there. That yellow. I like her voice. And when she, I just done that, read that book and bought those Mark Lanigan albums. And I loved when she worked with Lanigan. So I just thought, you know what? I have a couple things from her. So I just checked and I was, oh, that's out there. And I gave it a buy. It's definitely Isabel Campbell. Her that quiet voice that she has, kind of mellow. A lot of beauty to it. It didn't blow me away or anything, but a nice album.
Cool.
And that is Bow to Love. Isabel Campbell, Bow to Love. So not bad. I was on Record Store Day. I saw this in a store. You ever see that movie, Casino Royale?
Oh man, it's been a long time.
With the Burt Bacharach soundtrack. Yeah. My God, I love this movie. This was from the 60s, folks. And this soundtrack is swinging 60s. Herb Alpert, we're talking, Burt Bacharach, Dusty Springfield does The Look of Love on here. It's a 2-album set. They really get into it. A lot of extra music that you don't normally find. You can find the soundtrack fairly inexpensive out there, the single one. It was a movie as a kid. It just cracked me up because it was the biggest spoof on James Bond ever. I mean, boobies with machine guns. Oh my God. There's just, yeah, this is funny. So I saw that and I used to have it, but I hadn't brought it back into my collection. So this is a fancier, more expensive version of it, but I'm totally enjoying it. It's one of my favorite soundtracks. It makes me smile whenever I listen to it. So yeah, Casino Royale. Another blind buy. Akasaka Soul Funk. This is Japanese funk from the 70s. Because you know what? We just don't have enough of it out there. We keep saying, God, if only I had Japanese funk. So I saw that in the same place I got Trico. This was there, and I gave it a shot, and dang, if that ain't funky as all get out. I mean, they listened to, James Brown's Sly Stone was hitting Japan and they were hearing it. And these groups got onto the funk bandwagon and they did an incredible job with it. Again, it was the cover. I looked at the cover and go, "Ooh, that's cool looking." So I was just doing traditional blind buy like crazy. No idea what I'm getting. Let's just do it. Uh, but this is fun, really fun stuff. Totally enjoyable. It is 10 masterpieces of Japanese soul funk from 69 to 77. Anasaka soul funk.
Okay.
And
It'd be fun looking
two
for
more.
this.
Yep. Two more. They just came in from Record Store Day. I had to order out, but I've been to a lot of record stores in my life, so I know a lot of record store guys out there. So you put feelers out. But we did get the Bluey picture disc for my grandson,
Yep.
and so I haven't even listened to it, so I don't know. I'm sure it is. Whatever.
You've got to get that zoetrope working correctly, though.
Yeah. The thing is, he's into monster trucks now. I don't know. Bluey's going to be a big thing. It's all about the monster trucks. And he asked for tools for Christmas. He just turned 3. I want tools.
All right.
Okay.
Get him. You want to either start with Anima or Undertow.
Yeah, there we go. So I should give a Tool album. Well, you said Tool. And then kind of one of the hot ones on Record Store Day was Craig Smith, and this one came and went at many stores. Though I did see a couple of them sitting around, when I was 3-4 hours later running around out there. But I was able to get a copy, and it's just some really folk psych type music. Cool vinyl. A couple albums set in here. There's been a lot. I've seen it being ripped and put online so you can listen to it on YouTube. There's quite a bit of music, but it's an enjoyable album. I was glad I got that and been liking that. So
cool.
That's what we got because it's Christmas time to give. And I gave.
You gave unto yourself.
Yes.
Well, my side is it's limited in the number of releases, but hefty in the content of releases. And I know you got this too. You showed this on your channel. That would be the Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here, brand new 2025 50th anniversary super deluxe edition box set or deluxe edition box set. This thing is pretty hefty. Let me call my screen up here. For those that haven't seen it, there's a bajillion videos out already kind of dissecting this, and I'm even upside down. I'm holding it upside down now that I think about it. But this is nice. I know that you did your video, Steve, and it's cool. We'll just show this very quickly.
Yep.
And folks can get back to your channel to see it. But I think that they did a great job with this box set. There's no doubt about it. The book is beautiful. The albums sound great. I listened to everything throughout, but check out the contents of the box set. It's not, they didn't shirk on anything with this. The extras included the 7-inch. I'm not going to pull all that out of there. Although I have a Blu-ray player at home that I use probably once a year. And I did dig out the Blu-ray to try to listen to that and watch some of the videos on here. And I can't find the remote because it's been a year since. So it just sat there, and it's one of those type of Blu-ray players you need a remote. So we gotta find out where that went.
And you finally find the drawer. There's like 20 different remotes, and then you go, now what do I do? You're just shooting everything at the screen.
I really wanted to listen to that and watch that before we got in, but the album itself, I showed this on our live video here at the store the other day. It's on, all of the records are on that clear vinyl, so it's a really beautiful package. I think it sounds good. I saw a couple of videos that said, there's some surface noise, but nothing that I could tell outright that was terrible.
Maybe they should have cleaned their needle.
That could be it too. Now the rarities, this is interesting here. The rarities album, there's a volume 1 and volume 2 rarities. These are great also. And then all of a sudden, I remembered I had a bootleg from a couple of years ago called Wish You Were Here, the definitive alternate version. This is a bootleg, And now I haven't listened to this in a while. I'm going to have to go back to see how much of this bootleg is on the Rarities albums that were officially released. I mean, that's going to be curious to see. I think there's going to be limited amount of stuff from there, but these things sound great. The bootleg, I'm sure, was good if I remember correctly. But the real surprise for me, oh, go ahead.
Well, as I say, I was listening to the "Wish You Were Here," take one. "Wish You Were Here" with pedal steel. They were so good. That pedal steel guitar sounded very nice.
Yep.
Very acoustic.
There's another version in there with was it Stefani Grappelli on saxophone?
Yeah.
That was just beautiful as well. The real big surprise out of this, though, was the inclusion of the live. Now it's just 2 songs, obviously, but you can hear them working on Animals on here. You can hear the music as they're kind of jamming through, but this is a live performance from Wembley in '74. What's cool is the fact that this came from like a very infamous bootleg of that show that Steven Wilson, the producer of Porcupine Tree, and he does all these remixes, got a hold of and restored the audio. So I'm assuming that it was a bootleg-ish type sound on it. I couldn't tell that this was a bootleg listening to this. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that either.
No, I totally agree. It sounded so good. And I had a number of people comment that they were at the concert when they were playing those, and they were just kind of blown away by it.
Wow.
It sounded so good, so amazing. And then one of them, there is a program in there that's a comic book, and the guy Michael P. Dawson goes, "I still have mine."
The original. Wow.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, God, how cool. Yeah.
So if anybody's considering, I say seriously, the box set, if you're a fan of Floyd and this album in particular, and we've talked about our favorite Floyd albums, how they fluctuate, but Wish You Were Here is always up there for me. It's a great package. And there is that 3 LP version, which is just the album and the 2 alternate takes and outtakes, the rarities. So that exists for like $70, but it's on black vinyl. This was just a much cooler, a little more expensive, but a cooler package regardless.
Yeah, and oftentimes, sometimes outtakes can be so. These really were very good. They sounded great.
Yep. So we'll stop making fun of outtakes just because of this.
No.
So the only other pickup, and this one's a little bit of a vinyl mystery for me. I grabbed a new copy of Rush's Clockwork Angels, except this identifies it as a Rocktober release. It's a 2012 album, but this is supposed to have been a Rocktober release from earlier this year. Now here's the odd part about this. Obviously, I'm somewhat in tune with the Rocktober Rhino releases, as is the January ones. The Rush releases in Rocktober were that box set of their albums, their last 4 albums. You got Vapor Trails, Feedback, Snakes and Arrows, and Clockwork Angels. To my knowledge, this was not released individually as a reissue for Rocktober. Yet I've got a Rocktober hype sticker on this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure, and it wasn't, the list price on this thing was like $70 because they're calling it an import. So somewhere I don't know if it was intended to be a Rocktober release, broke it out of the box set, and the thing is with the box sets, if this was removed from a box set, they're not going to give this individual shrink, because inside the box sets you've just got the jackets and the albums. And I know that the 4 album set that was released in Rocktober had just the albums inside. So from what I'd read, this is that release, but it was never marketed individually as a Rocktober release.
Do you think, like Record Store Day has a European list, they have a UK list, they have a US list. Maybe Rocktober also does things different for Europe?
That's a possibility, and I've not researched far enough into it. I just kind of did a cursory search on why is this out here individually when it wasn't on our Rocktober list individually. It is labeled in my distributors as an import, and it's priced as an import at the same time too. So I'll do some more digging on it, but I just thought I'm going to snag this just because I want to see what it is and see if there's a big difference in there. But it's a good album. We'll get you into it eventually once you finish the Getty book.
Yes, that's right.
So if you folks are interested in hearing a little bit more about the albums that we talk about here and show off, we'll have a Spotify playlist put together that will highlight a couple of cuts from each, provided I can find the ones that Steve brings in. So
Yeah.
we'll have those. You can find that playlist link in the description of both the Spotify episode and the YouTube episode. Click that at your leisure and enjoy some of the music that we enjoy. So speaking of Spotify, Steve, we are here now at year's end, and a lot of folks in the past couple of weeks were sharing their own personal Spotify wraps. That is the algorithm kind of summarizing what folks have listened to throughout the years and giving you these nifty little flashy infographics on that. If you are a Spotify member, you don't get yours because you're not a paid subscriber, are you? To that.
No, I'm not. I keep thinking about it, but
Well,
it's been a few years I've been thinking about it.
Well, keep thinking, but it's a neat thing to look back on. The algorithm is going to be the main subject of conversation here, but let's start off with just a little bit of news on the podcast, if we could, and that being our own little episodes here, our own little podcast, which seems to be gaining some traction. The Two Guys Talking About Records wrap is here, Steve, and this has got some interesting stuff. Second year in a row, we've gotten kind of an increase. This is a little behind the scenes for you folks. And again, we really do tremendously appreciate the support we're getting on both YouTube and Spotify. But the Spotify numbers continue to grow. We've had a 23% increase in listening time. Our number of followers on Spotify and the which carries forward to the other stuff as well, is up 60-some percent. Top fans, we've got 70-some. You know what? By any means, Steve, this is not Joe Rogan numbers where stuff is in the millions and millions, right? But it's cool for the little thing that no, not quite.
Oh,
it's kind of cool.
It is.
Let's see if I look at number 2 here. This is the interesting one here that shows up. The show was in the top 5% of Spotify video podcasts. So granted, our numbers aren't through the roof in the millions, but I find this a very interesting statistic.
I just find it where it should be because, damn it, it should be there. I don't see why it wouldn't be, Jim. But as we're doing this, we're not expecting anything. Even if no one was watching, Jim and I would still do this.
We would because it's fun.
It's just fun, It's just two guys talking about records.
It is, to be in the top 5%. I think I'm not trying to besmirch what we do. I just think that there's a lot of content out there, and for a modest show like ours to rise to that level is, I think, pretty cool. And that's a good benchmark given the number of podcasts that are out there.
Yeah, millions and millions of them. But as you listening, every week, there we are.
And we do appreciate it tremendously. So speaking of you listening, we had a 130% increase in total audience in 2025. That was a growth. 1.6 thousand total new audience and an increase of 5,500 listening hours, 5.5K listening hours. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of extra time on their hand. Don't know what to do with it.
Well, I need a sleep aid that's non-chemical. Let's listen to these guys. This one here, not surprising. We are U.S. based, but the majority of our top countries come in at the U.S. UK folks and Canada represent Australia, and our Swedish listeners. How about that?
Yes. Hi, Hi, how you doing, Yanni? Hey, thanks.
We're accounting for all of that. Much appreciated.
On my YouTube channel, I have a nice little Swedish following there. It's just that heritage, I think.
There we go. Well, I'll have to work on the UK and my Irish side. Come on, folks over there. Let's represent. All right, and then finally, Spotify saw fit to inform us that we got some awards, Steve.
That's right. So we are now changing our title to Two Guys, the award-winning Two Guys Talking About Records.
There we go.
We're going big, folks.
They said we are a 2025 rising star, a 2025 marathon show. I think that means that we do it weekly.
They just don't quit.
No. And I think this is a mistake. They say that we're a 2025 talked about show. I think they mean that we talk about too much stuff.
Yeah. That's roughly all it, but that is pretty cool. I mean, it's just like, no kidding. Wow. All
Well,
right,
thanks.
we'll go with that.
Thanks again to everyone. Oh, by the way, there was one other graphic I didn't put up there, and that was our most popular episode from 2025 was the Record Store Day Black Friday discussion. Put RSD in the title. And it grows. But big thank you to everyone again for tuning in week to week on this. It does mean a lot to us. And who knows where things will go in the future, Steve? Could be interesting.
Exactly. Well, I'm building a studio now for this. I want one with those hanging microphones coming down that I see on the other people have that looks really cool. And we'll get some headphones. So yeah, we're going to go big now. But it is nice. And yeah, thank you everyone for just keep watching and building this thing. It's fun.
So on the personal side of Spotify, Steve, this is where things get interesting. The algorithm obviously tracks the podcast and lets us know how we're doing, but individual users also have this algorithm thing working with them. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I'm a little, I don't know what I think here. According to Spotify and my Spotify Wrapped, my listening age, based on the stuff I listen to, is 73 years old. So you weren't too far off when asking about that cassette I topped on there. Since I was into music from the late 60s, I'm an old soul. I think they're about 13 plus years ahead on me here. So I'm not.
Are they, Jim? Are they really?
Well, here's the deal. Okay, let's talk about this for just a second. They say my listening age is 73, and then right off the bat, my top songs come in as the Wedding Presents version of Pleasant Valley Sunday, Jacob's Ladder from Rush. Okay, that's the 80s. Beer Can from Beck. We're in the 90s, and the most listened to songs, Comfort Eagle from Cake and Sabotage from the Beastie Boys. Now, those tend to be my most listened to songs because I've got a separate playlist that I use when I'm walking and working out that these are all on, so they obviously shuffle through a little more often. So how does that farm into my listening age of 73 if the stuff I'm listening to is from the 80s and on?
I believe, wasn't Wet Leg on there too?
Wet Leg is in the albums. My top albums come through as Wet Leg's Moisturizer, the new one, then a Taj Mahal, and then Tinfoil and Turmoil from Billy Strings, Elastic Firecracker from Tripping Daisy 90, and the Electric Six Fire reissue from earlier this year. So those were my top albums. Now, the Taj Mahal, this is an interesting one. I think I ran that on Spotify one day as the store was getting ready to close and there was nobody in, and I just ran it on Spotify on my computer instead of spinning a record while I was out working on something on the floor. So that album played through in its entirety maybe one time. Moisturizer obviously is on one of my playlists, as are the others. So all of that somehow kicks back into saying that my listening age is 73 years old.
Makes sense. You know, anybody who listens to Wet Leg must be 73.
Jeez, oh well, that makes you a dirty old man in some cases.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So you got to be careful with that. So I don't know. It is what it is. The algorithm does not appear to always know best, but I think in a lot of cases it does. We started off today by, I held up this. I had to go down. I got a desk in my basement at home where I still have cassette tapes. And this is tough to see, but this is actually a mixtape that I made sometime in the 80s. It says this side and that side. I forget what's on here, but this is a legit mixtape I made for a friend of mine back at that point in time and somehow still have in my possession. So either they gave it back or I never sent it over to them one way or the other. But this is the way that we used to share music. This was it, that or lending out an album, which leads to silly things like writing your names on the covers so that you don't lose them. But by and far, I think, once cassettes came into prominence in the 70s, 60s, 70s, this was a good way to share music. Here, Steve, check this out. I made you a mixtape.
Yeah. I didn't have any friends, so I did.
Oh, no.
I only made them for me. But I made myself a lot of mixtapes.
Well, even if you make your own mixtape, Steve, you're kind of putting these albums, you're putting compilations together. Yes, you could buy an album on cassette back then to play in a vehicle or in a boombox or something, but this actually gave you a variety of music, short of buying a K-tel, various artists, which they did have those. There were
Yeah,
8-tracks. You could make your own 8-tracks too, by the way. You could record onto
no
those.
kidding,
Yep.
really? Wow, I did
There were
not know that.
some recordable 8-tracks. In fact, somebody dropped a box off at the store this week with a bunch of 8-tracks. I said, put them in the free pile, and there are some handwritten notes on there like that with the 8-tracks. But yeah, the odd thing there too, you could, now this is a sealed cassette. I actually still have a few of these floating around in my possession that were never gotten to, but the real art was to get into the fold and then the insert on the cassettes and write little notes as far as what every album was on there, or every song rather was on there.
Yeah, I just use it. I went to the library. I taped thousands of albums from the library because we would be moving all the time, like every year. So I'd have new libraries to go hit, and then you ever sit there writing everything in that thing, and there's a way to get music. But the mixtapes was cool. Yeah,
there's a couple of scenes in the movie High Fidelity. You know, that's obviously as a record store guy, that's a movie I have to be familiar with, but I liked it long before. Where the main character Rob, he's the record store owner in the movie. One of his means of creating intimacy and or flirting with women was to make them a mixtape. I'm here to tell you that was a thing in the 80s. If you had a girlfriend or somebody you were trying to get to know better, you'd make them a mixtape. This is the stuff I like. This is the stuff I think you'll like. Check it out when you get a chance. And I've made plenty of those in my youth for folks that I was going or were going out with, and you know, that's how it works when you're a young man, right?
Is that how you hooked Kim? Was it a mixtape?
No, it wasn't. We were working at the same radio station, so it was total immersion in that case.
So let's just say, did it really work then? Did it really work? See, you married someone without a mixtape. If I'd given Patty a mixtape, she would have looked at it and go, what did I do with that? So
folks today will never know the challenges. If your tape gets eaten, you get in there with a pencil and start moving it around.
Oh my God, yes. Oh.
The other big challenge that I remember from making mixtapes back then, and you could buy cassettes, by the way, in different configurations. Typically, they were 45 minutes aside. In some cases, you could get longer ones, 60 minutes or 30 minutes aside. It just depended upon the length of the tape and the quality of the tape as far as what you would get to be able to put on it. But the real challenge for me, Steve, and this is coming from being a DJ at the same time as well, was the timing. You had to get the music on there just right so you didn't cut off a song. You had to make it flow properly so that they mixed from song to song, like when I would do radio as a jock and work on that. But the worst thing in the world would be to get to the end of a side and have 2 minutes of blank tape because you couldn't fit another song on there. You'd have to flip it over and they'd start it all over again. That's not a problem with today's modern mixtape that the algorithm helps us put together.
Yeah, no, now it's just nonstop music. All you have to do is just sit back and let it come to you. And supposedly it's everything you ever wanted to hear or did not know that you wanted to hear, but you do want to hear.
That's what makes the whole algorithm idea equal parts impressive and scary. I had a couple of graphics. I didn't even bother loading them in because they were much too mathematical for my simple brain to handle. I sent them to you, and I think that those were some patent drawings to illustrate how the algorithm works. And it's not just what you listen to. That's the most surprising thing. So now when we talk algorithm, we're not talking specifically Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube. It's just the general term for how the internet or the host or whatever you want to call it on there learns about what we like and don't like. In our cases, it just happens to be music, but it could be movies, it could be food, your phone listening to you, sending you stuff you didn't think you knew about in ads.
Freaking Facebook, man. I mean, it just starts sending you go, how did it know? I mean, it's just like, you need to seal yourself off from your phone.
But the algorithm musically, this is where it gets impressive to me. It is able to discern not just based upon what we listen to, but our habits of what we listen to. But then it mixes in what thousands, if not tens of thousands of other people of our age, our race, just our general demographics, the types of songs that they listen to, And they farm all that in to say, because this person listened to this, because you are similar to this person in this way, we feel that you would like this as well. Now, that's different than creating the Spotify playlist like we do each week here for the stuff that we listen to and talk about. This is beyond. Have you ever let one of our playlists kind of reach its natural conclusion? If I'm driving and I'm listening to a Spotify playlist, when it runs out, what happens? Have you ever had that happen?
I haven't.
If it runs out, it goes on to what you think is or what it thinks is the next natural progression in that playlist.
Is it right?
Sometimes it is. It's not too bad, unless it thinks you're 73 years old. but it also takes into consideration, Steve, if you skip something. So let's say that I put together a playlist of stuff, and then I consistently and repeatedly skip a song. It says, well, geez, Jim doesn't like that very much. Otherwise, he'd be listening to it. So we will recommend less of not only that song, but less of that type of song. And it digs so far as even to match things like not just the genre, but the beats per minute, the overall mood of a song. It knows all of these things. I guess everything, and I've known this because I used to teach broadcasting, radio and television as well. Information, digital information especially, everything can be quantified. Everything can be broken down into ones and zeros, which is different than the old analog world that you and I really like to live in. And once you break things down into that quantification, the ability to say this piece of art is represented as such in this data, then you can begin to extrapolate whatever you want out of that data to make it say or do whatever you want it to do, to recommend, to not recommend down the line. It boggles my brain.
It's darn computers. I was discussing this with my daughter-in-law Kim last night. Actually, she's a huge Taylor Swift fan, and she uses Spotify, and so it goes into other artists. She goes, but the thing is, it just keeps playing the same ones. It's not branching out more. And so she gets a little frustrated because yes, these are all similar artists, but it's not giving her pushing the boundaries a little bit further.
And that's because it lacks that human emotional connection. Because everything can be quantified, it doesn't get into the fact that, okay, I made a mixtape for a girlfriend in high school, and it had a lot of metal on there, but there's this real cool song from Ozzy that's got a very mellow, cool instrumental tone to it. I'm going to put that on there to kind of cool things down. It can, to some extent, mimic that emotionality that we can put into choosing songs and recommending songs to others, but I don't think it can reach that full potential. And I'll say I'll add that on there because AI is learning from everything that we do and how we do it. But even then, it's still going to be some sort of quantifiable formula.
Yeah. Now, I always look, and it's probably should have just gone to Spotify to see what the hell it would do, because I think about my listening habits.
Yep.
And they are so everywhere. I mean, it's just, all right, I'm going to listen to one of this, but now I want to change it up to something totally different. And just look at what I showed today: psych rock, funk, a soundtrack, some quieter stuff.
And Herb Alpert to lettuce.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's interesting, but I always wonder if you have a huge eclectic thing, does it just throw everything at you in Spotify except for maybe Bob Dylan wouldn't be on there? I don't know.
We've said the name too many times; it will be on there now. That's an interesting point. And going to the fact that I mentioned earlier, I thought that my personal Spotify rap was a little out of whack. That very well could be, because I have one Spotify account that's just one, and I do have a paid subscription to Spotify, but I utilize that account both personally, in the playlists I create for myself, but also through the playlists that I create for this podcast. And the podcast playlists that we create, thanks to you in no small part, are tremendously eclectic, and they're all over the place as well. So I think that could be one little, I don't even want to call it a misfire, as far as how Spotify tried to say, this is what your rap is, Jim, check it out. Because there's not only my musical taste kicked in there, but to some extent yours as well through the use of the playlist for this podcast and the episodes we create. So I'd like to think that it's created some sort of little file off to the side for me, and then one for you on the side. Say, these guys are weirdos. Let's just let them play what they want to play, and we'll throw our spaghetti at the wall and see what they like.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the algorithms, it is a mind-blowing kind of concept how so much is pulled into this, so much is taken in. And though not on Spotify, I'd mentioned this to you before, but on YouTube, the advertising aspects of it, how they tie it into it. And my whole problem is they're they keep giving me stuff about crap, about taking a poop. And I mean, commercial after commercial. And I can't figure out what did I do that I deserve one after another. Here's how the best wipe yourself. What? Why am I getting this? And I mean, did I key in something once that said poop better? I don't know. But why can't I get a good commercial?
I have a theory, Steve. Go with me on this, all right?
Okay.
These algorithms, obviously, in some way, shape, and form, have to interconnect with one another. So your YouTube algorithm on one side knows your demographics, your age, and everything. And then it probably somehow connects in your Facebook feed whenever you post pictures of food that you like to eat. And one algorithm talks to the other, say, hey, this guy's getting up there. He needs to eat better. Let's recommend this roughage to him.
That stuff he ate, he must be constipated. He has to be constipated.
Think about that. I mean, that's a possibility, but in that way, it's just equally as scary. We've talked before a lot about AI, and I am going to be guilty of this. I utilize AI, especially the Grok, a lot for research. It just seems to be a very quantifiable thing, and it's actually, how do I say this? Grok has become very familiar in the familial sense with me. It talks to me like a person would talk because that's the way they trained it to. I still treat it as a tool, but I go in and I'll ask it, hey, do a little research on this. We're talking about this for the podcast, and Grok will, hell yeah, man, that's a good thing. Just let's approach it from this angle type of thing. That is all going to come back in the end because, again, this is all digital information. These are preferences. These are mannerisms that I am putting into the system, so to speak, that will become part of a larger database of this is who Jim is, and this is what we think Jim likes because he tells us and asks us this stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's the type of thing with you do when you click on your YouTube links. It knows who you subscribe to. It knows which videos you spend 30 seconds on versus the ones you watch for 10 to 20 minutes to a half an hour. It knows, the type of music that you listen to based upon that. It knows your eating habits from whatever else you do. So that's why you're getting poop ads.
There we go. Well, that's, I just thought it was really shitty of them to do
yes.
that. But
it's not a judgment of your musical taste,
yeah.
Steve.
Well, I'm a little worried about you because I might get shoved. It'll be one guy in Grok talking about records pretty soon. Jim's new best friend out there.
I'll just
you see these AI commercials with people just talking to their AI like it's their best friend. Love you. It's like, this is weird, man.
Oh, it's scary. I mean, I've seen news stories too where people have married an AI avatar of sorts, and it's.
Oh my God!
This is a dystopia that we're heading toward. And I don't want to give up all of my analogness. That's a word now, by the way.
And analogness. Okay. All right. Now, I found a friend, Mom. I finally found a friend. It's my computer.
Yes.
Oh,
there was. I said that. This will be on the playlist now. There's an old Bad Religion song from the '90s called "I Love My Computer," where they seem to have really, at that early stage of the internet, because they use like those old AOL dial-up sounds in the song, talking about their love affair with a computer. So even back then, Bad Religion was warning us.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know. You don't have to worry about AI replacing me yet, Steve. How's that? I just have to make sure my voice is in there. I talk so much here at the store. I do all the other videos. I know you do your videos too. And I will admit right now, I have started working on a new idea for some videos for my channel, the store's channel, to utilize a little bit more AI to take a little pressure off of me of talking constantly. So I don't know.
You're gonna have one of those AI voices. You listen to video. Oh, that's AI.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's AI.
Have to be
Generally, you know
careful.
what? Maybe the content's interesting. I just I'm not even listen to that.
And that's scary
AI.
because personally speaking, when I'm on YouTube and I start seeing, there's this thing called the dead internet theory, and I didn't want to get too into that side of things. But have you heard of this before?
No.
This is a concept that has,
me.
this is a concept that's been floating around for a decade plus now that has said that at some point in the past 10 years or so, the amount of bot, and in this case now AI traffic, surpasses that of human created content. And you can look no further on YouTube, and you can tell that these are just AI generated scripts, they're AI generated voice that carry nothing forward and add nothing to it, but at the expense of just cluttering the space with more stuff that is non-human. I don't know where this is going to go in the long run, but creators like you and I will have a place. But, all of a sudden, we're going to say, okay, the whole idea that we're in the top 5% of Spotify videos on podcasts. Yeah. Well, how much of that 95% that is under us is AI and computer generated, just for the sake of we're tossing some content out there? Again, I'll say it again, the spaghetti, but in this case, it's digital spaghetti thrown against the wall. If it sticks, great. If not, no harm.
Yeah. I just did my Christmas letter, and the kids asked, did AI do that for you? I go, no, I'm not using it. Well, I did our Christmas letter. Okay. So well, that's all right. But it's just a fact of life. And Spotify, using all that and bringing it in, I mean, supposedly to make your life better, to open you up to new things. And I mean, I've been struggling trying to find what new music is out there. I mean, I don't want the pop or whatever. What is happening underneath, whether it be Django or Psych, whether it be from another country, and the best way to find it. I was on Bandcamp trying to just put in, okay, Psych, and what comes up on these new albums, or it takes it just takes a while. I get a lot of crap. I go, no, and then I kind of get frustrated with the whole thing. But to explore new music that you might not have ever, that you've never heard, but it could be something you go, wow. And, that's what I'm always looking for.
In a way, and I'll add this on here. In a way, that seems the algorithmic addition to that recommendation, it learns from you, in a way is going to be superior to the mixtapes that we used to make, because these tend to be tremendously subjective. Take my wife, Kim, for example now. She does not like all the music that I like. So if I were to make a mixtape for her, this is the stuff I like, she's going to go, I hear that on your iPod, or I say iPod. I said iPod, but I hear that on your phone, or I hear that on there all the time there. Whereas the algorithm already knows what you like. And that's why I use the term subjective, because making a mixtape for someone is trying to impress upon them your likes and dislikes, mostly your likes in this case. This is what I think you should be listening to, Steve. Here it is, physical. You have no choice. Whereas the algorithm is going to say, cool, but I know them better than you. I know what Steve likes better than you. Based on what he's listened to, let me handle this mixtape for you.
Yeah. And so here's this music, and it all deals with constipation. But we found every kind of song that deals with that. And there you go.
Let me see if I've got a copy of the Vandals' Live Fast Diarrhea, and I'll send that over to you.
Gotta pop up, man.
Or out. One or the other. Where did this go? Well, this really went down. We need to flush this episode, Steve.
Yes, that's right. Flush this one away, folks. Sorry, it just went the wrong way.
There we go. Down the chitter. All right. So here's a good challenge for you folks listening. Most of you, I would think, have access to either YouTube. You can create playlists on YouTube, by the way, too. I don't know. We've never really experimented with that, but you can. But if you have a
I have,
Spotify,
yeah.
you can create playlists. Here's a nifty little exercise. Think of yourself as boxed in on a piece of physical media that's limited by space and time, and create a playlist that has to fit into a nifty little 45 minutes per side or 30 minutes per side type of thing, and make it mix well, and do it yourself. Don't let the algorithm decide how to do. And then see if you can share that with people. That's today's mixtape, is the algorithm, I guess, replacing this. Nobody has cassette players anymore either.
True. Though cassettes are making a comeback. Even Record Store Day, we got it in
I know.
cassette.
Stop trying to make it.
right.
Just enjoy the past. Although if somebody wants, I do have some blank cassettes. They're still sealed.
Yeah.
Well, folks, let us know what you think. Are we doomed to being a slave to the algorithm? Is it going to tell us what we like and dislike, or will we have some modicum of control that we can I'm sorry, Steve. I think I fell back into my old professor role a little bit today, talking. So I need to. I'm almost 10 years out from being a college professor, so I'm going to leave that life behind.
Yeah. Slave to the algorithm. Grace Jones had that song, Slave to the Rhythm. Now it's Slave to the Algorithm. I like that. That someone needs to write. So get on AI and let's do it. Slave to the algorithm.
I'll ask Grok to write a song of that title for us.
Perfect.
All right, Steve. Folks, as always, thank you for listening and watching to Two Guys Talking About Records. You know, coming up, we've got a couple of weeks, Steve. We need to do our year-end wrap-up here. Speaking of Spotify wrapping up, we need our own analog wrap-up, how we felt about 2025. Yes. How's that sound?
Yes, so very
that is
true.
Coming up. So as always, folks, thank you so much for listening. And again, thank you for supporting this podcast. It really means a lot to Steve and I to know that you folks are out there, and we're not speaking to the void, and it's nothing but the algorithm and AI listening to us, saying, hell yeah, you guys are doing a good job. Now send in more poop stuff.
Yes. Yes. Thank you everyone for once again listening to the award-winning
There we go.
Guys Talking About Records. We're just gonna toss that in there, baby.
That'll work. So until next time, my name's Jim, and I own a record store, an analog record store.
And I am Steve, who seems to be constipated. I'm a record collector. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Steve.